turn down a joint session of Congress for Zelenskyy, President Zelenskyy?
Zelenskyy asked for a joint session. We just didn't have time. He's already given a joint session. So what we're doing for Zelenskyy is exactly the same thing that we did for the Prime Minister of the UK, the Prime Minister of Italy.
The question there being asked by our own Arthur Jones there. Now, Zelenskyy did meet with a bipartisan group in the House and then a bipartisan group in the Senate. In the House, again, is really where some of the sticking points are on future aid for Ukraine. I asked Speaker McCarthy after that meeting how he feels it went and if Zelenskyy eased any of his concerns about continued aid. He said he answered his questions, but he wouldn't say, Kira, if his mind was changed. The question now is, did President Zelenskyy change any minds here on Capitol Hill? There are a group of vocal House Republicans, a small group of them, who have said they want no more aid for Ukraine. They are Marjorie Taylor Greene among them, Matt Gaetz, and others. And as long as there is that vocal group, the question becomes if Kevin McCarthy would put a bill on the floor here to supplement aid for Ukraine. The Biden administration has asked for $24 billion in additional aid for Ukraine. There are the votes to pass that in the Senate. And if it were to go to the House floor between moderate Republicans and Democrats, there are the votes in the House too likely to pass it. But Kevin McCarthy and Republican leadership, because they have the majority, they are the ones that get to decide what goes onto the floor for a vote. And the consideration is, as long as there is that vocal group of House Republicans who oppose continued aid for Ukraine, Kevin McCarthy is in a difficult spot as if he wants to call additional aid to the floor for a vote. That's the situation in the House. When you go over to the Senate, where Zelenskyy had another meeting, as I said this morning, it is a much different framework there. The top Republican in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is staunchly behind aid for Ukraine. It is very much a part of McConnell's legacy as the top Republican in that chamber, the amount of funding he is backing for Ukraine because he views it as a necessary geopolitical issue. When Zelenskyy walked into that meeting in the Senate earlier this morning, you see images of it there on your screen, he was greeted by applause, and he's flanked, as you can see there, by the top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, and the top Republican, Mitch McConnell, in that chamber. And so if it were just up to the Senate, it would be a fait accompli for additional aid for Ukraine. The administration would get what it wants and then some. The question really comes in, what does the House do? And I can tell you, we talked to a top Republican here in this chamber, Mike McCall, who's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He was asked by our own Ben Siegel, what is his outlook on continued aid for Ukraine? Does he think McCarthy will put a bill on the floor? He says he believes McCarthy is behind aid for Ukraine, Kira, and he believes this will get done. The question is, did this visit from President Zelenskyy shore that up, and did it change any minds?
All right. Clearly, a lot more to follow. Jay O'Brien, Karen Travers at the White House, thank you both so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.